I never thought of starting a successful company at that point. My major aim was like to just come up with a prototype that can act as a solution to a problem that I
Welcome to Valuetent, and today we have a special guest who happens to be an environmentalist and an entrepreneur, Edgar Edmund, all the way from Tanzania. Welcome, Edgar.
thanks.
It's nice having you here, and we appreciate you taking your time to join us today.
It's my pleasure.
Actually, I've got an opportunity to study with Edgar since primary school all the way to high school, and I've witnessed his growth, entrepreneur growth, and on the other side of him being an environmentalist. And today, I'd like him to share his story with you, and how he made it from all the way starting and where he is right now. So Edgar, take me back to when you started your first project, which turned out to be the green venture project that you're currently working on. And I went through a lot at that time, kind of developing the project. How was your experience? You are 15 at that time, right? Yeah. So how was the experience of a 15-year-old in developing such a project?
I would say like sometimes like the situations and like problems that are facing our communities like push you to take actions, because at the age of 15, like I never thought of starting a successful company at that point. My major aim was like to just come up with a prototype that can act as a solution to a problem that I'd seen. But it was very difficult because first of all, like getting capital at the age of 15 is very difficult. There's no bank that can give you loan. There's like many institutions do not believe at least people under the age of 18. So it all takes like your friends, family, like your immediate contact for them to support you to get there. So I think that was among the most difficult thing while starting the company, actually, getting capital and getting the trust at a very young age.
And you also spoke about seeing problems and kind of like trying to work around them. So at that time, what problem did you see?
So I saw two problems. The first problem was environmental pollution, because Tanzania itself makes more than 8 billion plastics every year.
8 billion.
And less than 5% of that plastic is recycled. And this recycling itself doesn't take place inside the country. The plastic is exported to China and Indonesia, where most of those companies have actually stopped importing plastics anymore. So that means more than 95% of the 8 billion plastics remain in the country, forming landfills, blocking water sources, and also causing sea pollution. The second problem that I had seen was construction. So as you remember, in 2015 there was floods in Dar es Salaam. And those floods, they caused more than 700 houses to be swept away by water. So these people became homeless because your house is swept away, you have nowhere to go, right? And they build mud houses because they don't have like enough capital to build cement houses. So linking the two problems, I saw like I could come up with a new solution that could solve environmental pollution, which was plastics, and construction problems. So there is where green venture capital is, making of building materials using plastic. So you solve the two problems.
Yeah, and later we'll speak more about green venture, but before we get into that, at that time, what knowledge did you possess to carry out such a project?
I think it took mainly two things. The first was sacrifice and the willingness to learn. So when I was starting the project, I didn't know fully what I was doing, because I was just like, there's these two problems and I have to use plastics to make bricks, but I didn't know how. So I remember like I used to like draw like sketches of like how the machines would work and everything, despite that I didn't have any background on engineering or anything. So it was learning, like going to the school library, reading books about polymers, going online, contacting like random people who have experience on that. So it was just like humbling myself that I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to learn. So I think that was a major thing by then.
So it's possible that anyone can do anything just after they are committed to learning and they are ready to take the sacrifice that is required.
yeah, you need to be committed to learning, and also you should know like you will fail many times before you actually succeed. Because I remember I had also to like take sacrifice, because like I was doing it in school.
Yeah.
We have like we had like more than 10 subjects, so I had to drop some of my classes so that I have like, I remember I have like free blocks where I could utilize the library or something, like to like keep learning. So I think sometimes you should, like, we should be able to focus. So like know what you're really good at and like focus at that instead of like dividing your attention, because it'll make it hard.
And of course, that brings me to the next question, because you're also in school at that time when you were working on the project. So how was your time management like? You know, how did you get to balance between the two? You know, studying and at the same time working on the project.
I can say I tried my best, but
Yeah.
I was not able to like perform at 100% in both things. So
Yeah.
like you always have to lose something to gain something. So I would say like after starting like working on like such project,
Yeah.
I think in some ways like my academic changed a bit, because before that I would say like my grades were like higher than after I started working on the project.
Yeah.
This because like I had divided attention. Before that I was fully focused on academics alone. But after that then I had to focus on entrepreneurship. I had to like attend conferences. I had to, yeah, like I didn't have as enough time to actually focus on academics as I had before. So I'd say I tried to create time for both, but at the end of the day I had to sacrifice also.
Yeah. So after the growth of Green Venture, not really the growth, but you know, in the I'll say the stage when it was still growing, you actually won some of the most prestigious prizes in the African continent, including the Anzisha Prize.
Anzisha Prize recognizes young African entrepreneurs from the age of 15 to 22, which I participated in 2017.
Yeah.
So I remember by then my business was around $300 when I participated in Anzisha Prize, and yeah, from there I gained like enough because I remember I attended a 2 weeks boot camp which was held here at ALS.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really knew the technical part of the business, like how to operate a startup, how to keep finances, how to pitch to investors. So I'd say there is where I actually got like proper mentorship on how to kickstart a business.
And now speaking about you getting proper mentorship, right? What do you think can be done to enable young aspiring entrepreneurs, like the way you are like 4 years ago, to kind of like be in the right path, possess the right skills, and probably have the right mentors who will get them through the whole process?
First, I think it's very important to get a mentor who's in your field of work, because let's say if you're running a manufacturing business and the mentor that you have isn't specifically in manufacturing, then you will not be getting like the basic skills that you need in manufacturing. You need someone who has experience. You need someone with like hands-on experience, someone who has done it before, so that they'll be able to get your way through. So I think it's very important to get the like specific type of mentorship.
And let's speak more about how Anzisha transformed you as an entrepreneur, right? After you finished the bootcamp, in fact, you are the first runner-up for the prize, and congratulations to that.
Our first runner-up, who receives $15,000, is Edgar Edmund from Tanzania.
So after you finished the bootcamp, right? What type of an entrepreneur did you become?
Yeah, I think I learned two major things. First of all is to stick to stick to your mission,
Mm.
despite many businesses are run in like motives of profit, and my business is a profit business. But as long as you get profit as
Yeah.
well, you shouldn't forget the primary mission that your business has.
Yeah.
So I think that also helped me when I was like up like searching for investors,
Mm.
because an investor can come speak to you, but if your vision and their vision do not align, then your business might fall down, because some investors are just concerned about like dividends, and they do not care about, let's say, concern like with our business,
Mm.
like environmental impact that we have, it's a major thing.
Mm.
So if the profits and the impact are not matching, then that's not a good investor for us. So I learned like there should be a balance between the profit motive and the impact that you're making as well.
Yeah, and of course, most people are actually usually suggested that, you know, when you're finding investors, you should probably look at investors who are also interested in the business that you're doing, so that they can also give you advice on what you should be doing, right? And now you spoke about, you know, investors, and you spoke about, you know, them assisting you and also playing a role as mentors, and them having passion for what you are doing, right? So let's speak about how you managed to get investors and how you grew your business, because Green Venture, where it was 5 years ago before you participated in Anzisha, it's very different from the Green Venture that we know today, right? So how did that work out? Like, how was it with acquiring investors and growing the business to where it is today? How was the process like?
So I would say like sometimes there are like formal ways of getting investment, and there are informal ways of getting investors. And the informal ways of getting investors, it's among the ways that we're never like taught. Like even you go for boot camps and such, but you will not be taught. So you might find like I have been to let's say more than 3 pitching events, right?
Yeah.
And the way that I came to like interact with an investor was a way that I never expected, because I was in so I won the Children Climate Prize in Sweden. Then I got a chance to participate in a morning TV talk show, and yeah, it was just an interview, and I was explaining what we do as Green Venture, and yeah, people were able to see the video, and yeah, I was also featured in the magazine in Sweden. So so there's a kid who was reading this magazine, and he was like, it was a children's magazine. So he was like, yeah, I really like what this guy is doing. And luckily enough, his dad was like a CEO of Split Vision, which is a Swedish industrial design company. So after sharing the news with his dad, so his dad contacted me, and he was like, we are Split Vision, we are the Swedish industrial design company, and we design some plastic products as well, medical plastic products, and yeah, we would like to work with you because we want to be part of the recycling, because we also design. So from there I was able to get investment. So to me it was a very big lesson, because I was like, I never expected to get an investor just from a magazine. I expected I would get investment from a pitching event. Yeah, so I was like, it's very important to like take everything in business with the same level of seriousness. Every opportunity you get, because you don't know which opportunity is actually going to be the success path for you.
So entrepreneurs should always seize every opportunity that comes their way.
Yeah.
You won the climate prize, right? And you're actually operating as an entrepreneur and as an environmentalist, right? How did you manage to get to fuse the two together? You know, how did you manage to get the balance between, you know, you being a pioneer for climate and also you being as an entrepreneur? How did you manage to link the two together?
I think always it always comes to solving, like if you solve someone's problem, then they will be willing to pay for it. So if you're not solving my problem, I won't be willing to pay for it. So like plastic problem is a global problem. Like in 2050 we'll be having more plastics than fish in the ocean. So if as a customer, them knowing that me purchasing a product from this company is going to reduce the probability of me eating contaminated fish which has plastic, then they will be more willing to buy your product from the other. So I think it's all about creating value and solving people's problems. So if you're able to solve an environmental problem, which is a global problem, then it's easy for you to get like a global market.
So it's true that entrepreneurs should not focus on profit when they're starting their businesses, but
Yeah.
rather they should focus on the need of solving an existing problem
Yeah.
in the community.
Yeah, because if you solve a problem, then people will pay for it. So if you focus on solving the problem, the profits will come automatically. But if you focus on the profit,
Yeah.
then you're not solving the people's problem. Then they'll be like, there's no need for me to pay for this.
Yeah, because they're not paying for a solution that you're providing to
Yeah.
them.
Because I think that's the advantage that like we have in Africa. Because people think, okay, Africa is the continent that are facing a lot of problems, right?
Yeah.
So that's an advantage, because if we have a lot of problems compared to other continents, then that means there are more businesses to be opened, because there are more problems
more
to be solved.
opportunities.
Yeah. So if you solve the problem, then you get money. So that means there's more opportunities to be discovered in the continent.
And how has Green Venture and the whole entrepreneurship experience helped you to grow as an individual?
So the first thing that I've learned is patience, because we all think like, I'll start a business today, I'll be successful tomorrow. Yeah, it's possible, but I think when you have a proper foundation, especially like investing in personal development,
Yeah.
because as a leader of a business, you should be able to run the business in the right way for a long term. That means you need to have proper skills, you need to have a proper network, and you need to have a proper team. And to do that, you need like enough time to develop that team. Because even me, like, for the business to work when I'm not there, it only depends with the team that you have. So if you don't have a team that you trust, a team that you have experience with for a longer time, then the business will not be as successful. So I think it's very important to be patient and to know that sustainable structures are built
Yeah.
with a long period of time.
And let's speak more of a team. Most of the time you're outside Tanzania, either studying or traveling for business purposes, right? How did you manage to put together a team that has really helped put Green Venture on the place that it is today, despite your absence?
Yeah. So first of all, I'd say like the team that I've put together like has changed over a period of time. We have had times that we had to fire people, bring in new people. So like that input and output, it always made me like to realize the trust that you can have in your team equals to the impact that you're going to create. So I think it's always important to like learn and to make your team be part of the learning. So it's like you trust people, but at the same time you have to make them accountable. And that's why sometimes you have to make really hard decisions. And I'd say like till now the most challenging thing that I had in my business is actually the team itself. So I think that's the thing that I'm still working on as well.
So it's something that it's still growing,
Yeah.
something that you are learning and working on it each and every day.
Yeah.
That's nice, because I think, you being away from the business a lot of time, then, kind of puts the business into the hands of the team that you have entrusted with. So they're the ones who are then going to play a bigger role compared to what you'll be doing when you're away from them. After Anzisha and after winning Climate Prize, later you decided to attend the African Leadership Academy for your high school studies. Why African Leadership Academy?
So I think African Leadership Academy is among like few schools around the continent that had the thing that I was looking for, which is like an entrepreneurship centered curriculum. So especially like entrepreneurship studies here is something that really attracted me to come to ALA, because very few schools that will find students are tailored to become entrepreneurs that are solving social problems, instead of just focusing on the theoretical part, but you get a chance to actually implement what you're studying. So I say, and like that has actually came to action when I came to ALA, because I was able to start a startup on campus, which was Treadhold, the school tax-shop, and I was able to actually apply what I learned in class and know what's working and what's not working, which I think it's an opportunity that wouldn't have been possible if I was not at ALA.
Yeah, so it's very amazing seeing how you have got the opportunity to kind of like put hands-on practice for what you have been learning in class, and I think it's a new way of learning that people should probably adapt, especially the ones who are passionate and interested in entrepreneurship, because then you get practice, right, rather than just being theoretical. You also get practice, and that way it helps you improve. So how do you see Green Venture in the next 5 years?
First of all, like, we are on an expansion and adaptation strategy. So in the next 5 years, we are hoping to like operate in the East African region, because currently we are working on incorporating like a tech aspect in the business, which is we are coming up with a waste management platform, because we have found that generally in East Africa there's no waste market whereby you can be able to trade waste that are developed in houses and in offices,
Industry.
which is a problem that we have also faced, because when we are looking for plastic waste that we are using for recycling purposes, it's very hard because you have to contact directly people who collect waste in streets and everywhere. But then if there was a centralized market where you can go and buy different types of waste, then it makes it easier for recycling companies. So that's the need that we have seen, and we are actually working on creating a market whereby people can be able to sell waste that they have, and that will enable us also to expand and work beyond the borders of Tanzania.
So this is gonna be on an app or website?
It's going to be both a website and app, and also we are working on getting it on mobile. Like, we are working on getting it offline.
Offline,
Yeah.
so that everyone will have access to it.
Yeah, even
despite-
people who can access it.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
that's really amazing. So when should people be looking forward to this?
I think by next fall, this should be done, because we have already started working on the website.
Yeah, then I think you should look forward to the app and the website coming up soon. As an entrepreneur, right? What words do you have to give to young aspiring entrepreneurs who are looking at you and seeing you as their role model?
I think first of all, you should like see yourself as a resource. Like when you want to start a business, the first resource that you have, it's yourself.
It's yourself.
Before getting the capital, before getting anything, it's yourself. That's why even when investors invest, they can invest in business, but as well they can invest in you.
It's
Because
awesome.
if you do like self-development, like personal development, like if you acquire the right skills, you acquire the right network, even if the business doesn't work, you'll be able to change it to something that will work. So you are the first resource, and people don't have an excuse to say I can't start a business because I don't have resources, because if you are the resource, then you'll be able to attract other resources.
And then speaking about resources, that's where a lot of entrepreneurs stuck. They usually say, they don't have money or funding for them to start their businesses, right? And I think it's something that you really managed to overcome.
Yeah.
And can you probably share a bit about how you managed to overcome that, so that they can also like have a change in mindset? Because I think right now a lot of young entrepreneurs face the same challenge, saying that I don't have capital or funding to start this business or this project. So what do you think they should be doing, or what their mindset should be?
First, I think there's power in numbers. So you need to get started. That's the very first thing. Like,
Getting started.
create a prototype. Like, what I did was like just to create a prototype and let people see what the product can potentially be, even if it's not like a market ready product, but at least people believe in what they see. So instead of having a plain business plan and you have not taken any initiative to start, then it doesn't bring belief in people who are willing to invest in you. So I'll give you the simple example. Let's say with our mobile app that we're coming with, we don't directly start making a mobile app while you don't know how the market is going to work. So the first step that we did is like we tried using WhatsApp to get people to sell us plastic waste. So people, like, through WhatsApp, we're able to get different people's contacts, and then we're able to know how regularly they're going to buy the waste from us. So I think through that you're able to get the numbers, you're able to get statistics that are going to help you to actually pitch to an investor who will invest and enable you make the app. But they have already seen what you have been able to do using WhatsApp, which is like almost a free platform. So I think it's very important to take the first step first.
So at the end of the day, it's just getting started.
Yeah, you just need to get started, then show people what you can do, then they will join the process.
People will come in and join you.
Yeah.
Awesome, that's nice. I think this was very helpful, and I think a lot of young aspiring entrepreneurs, I think they'll have a lot to take from this conversation, and I hope that it's going to inspire them and motivate them to also start doing what they've always been dreaming of doing. Because a lot of people end up having dreams, and they don't do anything. They don't try and accomplish them simply because they're trying to create excuses and saying, we don't have money, we don't have probably investors, or we don't have mentors and everything else, right? But then I think you have at least shown them how you can overcome all the challenges and prosper as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it, and I think they should probably look forward to you to your next projects. And how should they reach out to Green Venture in case anyone is interested?
So you can visit our website, which is greenventuretz.com, and also you can check our Instagram page, Green Venture Tanzania, and our Facebook page, Green Venture Tanzania.
Thank you very much, and I'll put the link to all the medias and platforms in the description below. Thank you very much, and we really appreciate having you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and if you haven't, please don't forget to subscribe.